Hey everyone, I'm Luis Chavez, and welcome to the sixth episode of the Career Blueprint. Today I am joined by Daniel Trujillo. Daniel, congratulations first off on graduation from CUA, and just
Thank you.
thank you for taking the time to be here, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. It's been it's been nice to learn about what you're doing and
Mhm.
finally I can say I've graduated. So it's a relief. But thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I really like, man, just it's so amazing to finally have you on here. I'm honestly eyeing you to get in this interview. It's honestly amazing. And now that like stuff's over, no more school, and you're just getting a break before your job, it's just amazing to get you on here to share your insights.
Of course.
So here we have Daniel, and before graduating, he was an honors international business and operations management major, president of the International Business Club and Club Soccer, previous trading services intern at JPMorgan, and finally, he's heading to KPMG this summer as a full-time customer and operations advisory associate. Daniel,
Mhm.
congratulations on all the success, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I honestly can't believe it. Everything's moving too fast and I feel
Mhm.
like I've lived 12 different lives. And I'm about to turn 22 only. So, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot ahead of me. So I can't wait.
Yeah, thanks again for taking the time to be here, and let's have a good session, man.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. So, Daniel, you're the president, or you were the president of the International Business Club and Club Soccer. What is the one leadership blueprint that works for both a boardroom and a soccer pitch, or football pitch, as you would like to call it?
That's it's a very interesting question because you might think at first that being in the classroom and being in the field is actually two completely different things, and they
Yeah.
are, but those two things actually have much more in common than anything else in this world, genuinely.
Yeah.
I feel like the biggest, I'd say, leadership blueprint, as you said, that y I was able to see between both was that no matter who you work with, no matter what your team is, no matter what events you're trying to figure out, you're always going to have to be the bigger person. Okay?
Mm.
A lot of people, both older and younger, if they see you as the president, they're seeing you as someone who is above them. Well,
Mhm.
while age-wise, I might be younger. For example, I
Yeah.
started at the club soccer, like in the club soccer leadership around like freshman year, like second semester, sophomore year. Sorry, freshman year.
Hmm.
So I was basically trying to manage people that were like 2 years older than me.
Yeah.
And something that you have to tell yourself always is, you have to be the bigger person in how I said, not no matter who you're working with and the people you're dealing with, you're
Hmm.
always going to have to uh, answer the questions that the players have and or the students have in the International Business Club.
Hmm.
And even if you don't have the answers, you have to find the answers.
Yeah.
The other thing is, you should always be willing to work with others. Something that I learned throughout I guess like my leadership experience in both was
Hmm.
that yes, although I was the president, I had most of the power in making decisions. The most important thing for me was having an executive board with other team members that were interested in the same topics as me, that wanted to
Hmm.
be involved in the club soccer leadership or the international
Yeah.
business leadership. So you have to be open to working with others. And although you are the president, you have to be open to the ideas of those who might not be in the same position as you. But something that I
Hmm.
always told my International Business Club leadership and my club soccer leadership is that although I'm the president, we're all on the same level here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I might have the final say, but the same way that I'm gonna respect that you're gonna respect, what I have to say, the time, the
Hmm.
meetings. I'm gonna do the same to you because you're
Yeah.
here to make something work, and I'm here to solve the same problem. Okay, so we're in
Hmm.
this together. Um, and the other thing is, hopefully it's not contradictory, is that you also have to learn to work by yourself. What I
Yeah.
mean with that is that a lot of the times, although you will have a team, you must be the person, the bigger person, how I said, that
Hmm.
has to have that initiative to make something happen. Okay. If you
Yeah.
see that there's an issue and nobody's bringing it up, then you have to be the bigger person and bring it up and say to the people, like, hey, like, there's something wrong. We have to fix this.
Mhm.
You have to be able to manage, let's say, deadlines, especially in the International Business Club. There's a lot of events that were planned short notice just because we got last minute information from one event or the other.
Yeah, right.
And you had to be ready at any moment to just make it happen, because
Mhm.
the students were looking forward to it. I guess Dr. Canizaro, the dean of the
Yeah,
International
yeah, I've heard
Business
of him. Yeah.
program, they were expecting things from you always, so you had to deliver. So you had to have the initiative of, okay, I'm gonna make this happen. I'm gonna solve this problem. I'm gonna talk with this people. So yeah, I think that's the three leadership things that I would say are help me the most across both the International Business Club and the club soccer.
That's great. So, as an international business major, how has your multicultural background, including your roots in Colombia, given you a secret weapon in the recruitment process for global firms, if any?
That's a great question, and thank you for asking because
Mhm.
I'm very proud of my three cultures. I mean, for those who might not know, I have a German background, Colombian background, also American background. So I want
Impressive
to
guy.
try to
First off.
I wanna try to embody those three cultures as much as I can. Because it's a power. It's a power that was given
Mm.
to me. And before I answer the question, I just wanna tell a little story
Yeah,
of
you can
how
go
I
and you don't
even
don't worry.
got
Yeah.
into international business. So I had no idea what I wanted to study. My dad wanted me to, I don't know, go into architecture. Obviously,
Mm.
my dad is also a finance and business guy, so he was like, "Oh no, business is always going to be there. Finance is always going to be there."
Yeah.
But I was never a fan of, numbers and the idea of like, math and
Yeah.
calculations and all these things.
Mm.
Thankfully, I did good at the exams and stuff, but it wasn't my strength.
Yeah.
And I don't know, one day before applying to colleges, my mom asked me like, "Hey, like, what do you even want to major in?" And I was like,
Mm.
"It's a great question." And then I couldn't answer, but the one thing I said is like, "Listen, I don't know, but if there's something I like or that I want to say is that I want to be able to use my backgrounds, my languages, my cultures to help me um, in the business world eventually."
Mm.
Okay. So we was like thinking, business administration sounds, I mean, back then I thought business administration was only like finance and numbers. So I was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then for whatever reason, my mom just said like, hey, like, what about something like international business? Which is, and I was like,
Mm.
I obviously had heard about it before, but just in that moment, I stayed quiet and it just clicked. Something clicked. I was like, international business? Okay, international business. That sounds kind of tough.
Yeah.
So I started looking into it. And I mean, everything that I read about it was, um, that having, different cultures, different backgrounds really help you stand out in an industry like this, especially because, you'll be working with like multinational companies, clients, all stuff.
Mm.
Um, and not to, to make this shorter, I want to get to the point here is, um, and I was actually telling Louise before is, all the cultures, all my backgrounds, there's no such thing as a perfect culture. Okay.
Mm.
Every culture has its benefits, disadvantages, some
Yeah.
pros, some cons. And I was never able to fully feel like like 100% part of either of the three because I was
No, yeah.
trying to stay too much like to the description of what that culture was. When in reality, after having experienced, the German culture at school and also having been to the American well, CUA now, the university,
Yeah.
and my Colombian background is that, instead of trying to find which culture is best, how can I use the three to to grab the best things from all of them, put them
Mhm.
together, and create my own culture, so to say.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Um, so what I'm trying to say with that is that being able to have those different cultures have allowed me to adapt to interviews, to different
Mm.
leadership styles, to different tasks, because, some tasks require more of a, energetic approach. For example, in
Mm.
that case, my Colombian background, Colombians are very energetic.
Yeah, for sure.
But when sometimes an issue or a problem needs more, straightforward and just to, focus completely on one specific task. So that German culture in that case came in, clutch, sorry to say, like it came in clutch
Yeah.
because I had to get the work done. And with my German culture, I mean, I went to a German school my whole life. We were taught to just do the thing that is put in front of you and do it well.
Mm,
Um, and then for the American culture, more than anything, it's like the interacting aspect of it. I feel like the US, well, the American culture has a lot of, hey, like let's work together, let's collaborate, let's get to know each other personally so we can reach a more like personal relationship between the two of us, or the three
mhm,
or the four of us, whatever it is. And then through that relationship, now that we know each other more as friends rather than just, coworkers or employees, we know each other as friends, so we can help each other grow. We can help each other solve a problem. We can help each other, getting the task done.
yeah.
So having those different cultures and being aware of those have helped me, um, like adapt to those different experiences, to those different situations. Because every situation requires different personalities, different
Mm,
approaches, different communication styles as well. So I think the biggest thing, and if I can tell everyone who has a multicultural background or is trying to, I mean, even study abroad, it's do
mhm,
it. Because if you don't do it, you're closing the door on yourself of learning about, the outside world, and that the world is much bigger than you think it is.
mhm,
And that
yeah.
everyone is different. And the one thing that makes us all the one thing that we all have in common is that we're all human beings.
Yep.
Um, but you have to respect the different cultures, and you have to be open to those cultures so you can learn from them, so you can also adapt to them because you're going to be working with and against them. Um, so yeah, I mean that's what I would say about the my international backgrounds.
Yeah. Great. I absolutely love your story, man. That's actually amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So you've navigated the recruitment process with some of the biggest names in the world. What was the most unfiltered lesson you learned from a rejection that eventually led to a major win?
Uh, that's a good question, and it's tough.
Mm,
Because, rejection is inevitable. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if it's with your friends, if it doesn't matter if it's with your family, at school, whatever it is. Rejection is inevitable. Um, and more than what I learned from rejection itself is I learned that same thing that I just said, that it is inevitable. And
mm,
when you are rejected for whatever reason, what I always told myself is that, okay, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. And this is happening for a very specific reason. Okay.
mm,
Obviously, you're going to be, tough on yourself about it. You're going to be sad about it at first, like, oh my God, rejection, all these things. But truly, is that what that rejection teaches you is to fight back, to jump back into action. Okay. Because you
mm,
can't let that negative feedback or that rejection, take control of your mind, take control of
yeah,
your
of
actions,
course.
whatever it is. So you have to learn to jump back in. It's like, okay, listen, although I got rejected, I did the whole process that led me to that way, and I learned something along all those specific parts of the process.
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
And that's a mentality that is very hard to adopt because negative criticism or feedback can be taken the wrong way very easily. So you
Mm,
have to turn that negative criticism into constructive criticism. It's like, okay, they're saying this for a specific reason, they're just not saying it for saying it.
mm,
And what can I learn from that? So something that I did was write down the negative feedback that I got or the reasons why I got rejected. I would write them down and I would look at them and like, okay, let me think about what I could have done differently, how I could have responded to it, what I can do next time to avoid, that same thing to happen.
mm,
But it teaches you to fight back. Okay. And I didn't give up at that moment, although it seemed like everything was going, a lot of, rejections here and there. And oh, thank you for
yeah,
your time. It was lovely meeting you. And, you're no longer under consideration, all these things, those
yeah,
hurt, especially if you're a student trying to get an internship and a job. And it seems
yeah,
like
for
all
sure.
your friends are talking about is that.
Mm,
Um, so it teaches you to fight back and to not take it the hard way. I mean,
mm,
I couldn't word it any differently or any better, but it's just life is tough. Rejection will come your way, and you have to learn how to deal with it, okay? And
mm,
learn from it, okay? Um, So yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, the things that come from that is you become a better person, a more well-rounded person because you know what your weaknesses are, you
Hmm.
know where you know what strengths you have, but where you can make them better and where you can apply them or use them.
Hmm.
And you learn that there is something for everyone out there. Believe it or not, there is something out there for everyone. Okay. It might take longer for others. You know, I mean, for me, I have to say I was very lucky. My whole processes were very fast and I was able to get something quickly, but it's not the same, you know, pace for everyone. So you can't let that rejection and then your friends talking about it make you feel bad about yourself and that like, oh,
Hmm.
I should be up there with them. No,
Yeah.
everyone has their life, everyone has their experiences, and everything happens for a reason, how I said. So the one thing I learned is that, you know, you become a better person from rejection, how I said. You
Hmm.
also learn to give feedback. As the president of the International Business Club and Club Soccer, I had to give a lot of, you know, I'm not gonna say negative feedback, constructive criticism a lot of the times, and you
Hmm.
learn how to give that. And you learn how to not react out of emotion. Okay, it brings you down to earth. It makes you think more rationally, and it makes you really think about, you know, the processes of things. So like this happened for that reason, and then for that reason, I'm gonna do this and that to
Hmm.
tackle that next time or to avoid it next time.
Man, great. That was absolutely amazing. I'm on thinking I might have to steal that one where you write down the mistakes. I'm gonna definitely have to
Hey,
steal that one. I'm just letting
please
you know
do.
now.
Please do.
Thank you, man. So, operations management is all about efficiency. What is one personal system or habit you created at Seaway to manage your time between two presidencies and maybe a heavy course load?
Oh, geez, this feels like a job interview. No, I'm kidding.
You're
Um,
good now.
it's good
Nice and
training. It's good
chill.
training. Listen, operations is all about efficiency, but operations is also about um, understanding a process from the inside out. Okay.
Mhm.
I had an operations class this last semester, and the one thing that I learned is that operations is truly about the whole process, not the final product. Okay. And
Mhm.
for some people, it's really hard to understand that. For me, it is because I want results done and I want to understand.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to get, you know, I just want to see results.
Mhm.
But operations teaches you how to get to that result. And it also teaches you that it is much more complicated than you think. You know, everything looks super easy. Everything looks like, oh, yeah, you do this and that. No, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Everything is a process.
Uh,
Um, but I will say, with operations, and also, I mean, I feel, you know, I don't mean to, you know, I don't want to talk about myself now, but I will say I've always been a very consistent person. I've always been very dedicated to the things that I like
mhm.
and to manage all the responsibilities that I have. And
Yeah.
I've been able to do so effectively, even from high school. If there's, I would say, two things within my process that helped me the most were, first of all, um, you have, I mean, and this is gonna sound like any other advice, and anyway, it's
Yeah, you're
good though,
good.
and it's serious. Have a calendar, have a to-do list, have something where you can write down the things you have, the responsibilities you have, the time constraints you have, because those are going to give you a guideline of what you have to do, how much time you have.
Mhm.
But obviously, don't let it, you know, overflow. Okay, like you have to be aware of
Organized.
it,
Yeah.
and you have to organize that. Yes, although you want to do everything at the same time, you can't. Most of the times, you have to choose one or the other, but you can make it work out.
Hmm.
So in my case, very straightforward. I had a Google Calendar where I put everything in, especially when I was an RA. I had all my meetings and classes written down with different colors, different times,
Hmm.
different, I guess, like on the little notes section, I would always say like the things that I had to prepare beforehand.
Hmm.
Um, and I always put like a notification like before, like 30 minutes before, just so like I was
Yeah.
aware of it and that I had to, if I was doing something before, that I have to, you know, get it done so that I could go to the next thing.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. The other thing is you have to have a routine, okay? I mean, that's what I think, okay? Some people, some of my friends, my even my own family. they don't have a routine, and they make it work out, okay? But my German mind tells me, no, you have to have a routine and you have to do it that way. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to achieve anything. So
Uh,
personally, I mean, for me, personally, my own experience, it has helped me. You have to have a routine. I used to wake up not super early, but relatively early, sometimes in junior year. I used to wake up around like 6:30 or so
yeah.
before class because I needed to, I mean, I always, believe it or not, I need to have breakfast every single day. Otherwise, I cannot start my day.
I mean,
I
yeah,
need to
yeah.
shower, get ready, probably, get ready like properly for the day.
Mm,
And and it just, it gave me energy, it told me, okay, I have to sleep earlier the day before so that I have energy in the morning to do everything.
yeah,
And same thing. I mean, I would work, I don't know, let's say 1 hour and 30 minutes in the morning at a coffee shop. I mean, in my case, when I was on RA, I used to go to the Starbucks Reserve across the street on Michigan Avenue all the
yeah.
time,
I
sit
love that
down
one.
there.
Mhm.
You like it?
Yeah, it's good there. It's
Yeah.
a very nice
Good.
place to study, and just
Yeah.
the whole environment there is amazing.
Yeah. And having students and other people working there, it also helps you, get your stuff done.
Mm,
Um, so I used to do that. Then after that, I'd go to class. Then after that, I'd go back to my room, get some more work done, then go to the gym, lunch. So I have a specific routine that helped me stay in line and help me stay organized every single day.
mhm.
So it's important that you put yourself, um, you put yourself, like you give yourself a schedule, you give yourself somewhere clear that you can see what your plans are, what you have to do. But the other thing is you have to be okay and you have to be ready for any unexpected things. Okay. Sometimes I had planned something and I couldn't do it because something came up. So I had to do that because it was urgent or an emergency, whatever it was. Like you
Mm,
have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with pivoting every once in a while. You have to be okay with not going by the book.
yeah.
And that's again where my Colombian culture comes in, because Colombians, we just don't care about time. We just do whatever we want.
Yeah.
Um, so, um, so you got to give yourself that room as well. And the other thing that I will say that helped me the most is just, give yourself time, give yourself patience.
Mm,
Life is busy, especially in college. I mean, in my case, I was busy with so many different things. Life is busy and it can get really, really tiring. So you
yeah.
have to be patient with yourself. You have to take care of yourself. Something that I did my whole life, well, my whole life in college, was that I always took myself out on a coffee date. It sounds cliche or cheesy, but I always took myself out on a coffee date because I needed to change my environment, sit down, have a little drink of coffee, and then
Yeah.
just
Like a
look
mental
at me.
break. Just yeah,
Yeah,
clear your
people
mind.
watching, disconnect from my phone, and that really helped me because in those times is where I was able to think about other things than just school and work and RA and interviews and internships, all these things. So you have to be patient with yourself. And if you're not, it's going to be even more exhausting and more draining.
Hmm.
Something that I like to say to myself and to a lot of other people or friends that need advice is you are the only person that is always going to be there for you, for yourself, your whole life, since you're born until the last day of in Earth, whatever it is. The only person that is always going to be there is you. So you have to be your own best friend, not your own worst enemy. Okay?
Hmm.
I mean, I don't want to sound cheesy, but it's true. People say bad things about themselves. People, yeah, they just go
Yeah.
crazy over, oh, I didn't do this or whatever. It's like, hey, it's okay. Life
Yeah.
stuff, but stuff happens. So be patient with yourself. Be your own best friend. Take yourself out on coffee dates. Okay, they're
Hmm.
very, very important. And hey, one day at a time. Okay, day by
That's
day.
great. Yeah. I really do believe in that self-confidence. Really, like you are your number one fan.
Yeah,
Like you have to,
100%.
like no one else is gonna push you. At the end of the day, it's you. You have to
Yeah.
do it. Okay,
Yeah,
just action.
100%. Exactly.
That's amazing. So club sports are often the heartbeat of student life. What is the most important cultural change you implemented as the president of the club soccer team to ensure that the team succeeds long after you graduate?
Oh God. That's a good question, and it's really, really recent because just until like 2 weeks ago, like
Mm,
I completely gave the e-board, the club soccer executive board to to the new presidents.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty recent, it's pretty fresh. Listen, the most important thing, or that like change, that cultural change is first of all, since the beginning of your leadership journey, you have to surround yourself with people that are willing to also put the work in. Okay.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
surrounded myself with players in this case that wanted to play soccer, wanted to meet people, they wanted to
Mm-hmm.
succeed, they wanted to win, and at the same time, they wanted to be involved, in the student organization aspect of it, the more administrative aspect of it.
Yeah.
So the most important thing that you have to do since the beginning is surround yourself with people that are as ambitious as you. Surround
Mm-hmm.
yourself with people that you know can carry that legacy
Yeah.
after you. Obviously, they're not going to carry it exactly because everyone has their
Mhm.
own little twists and their own
Yeah,
culture
of
and their own
course.
way they want to implement it. So, ever since I became president of the club soccer. I always got somebody who was the same age of me, then two that were like 1 year up below, and then
Mm-hmm.
one or two depending that were 3 years below. Okay, if I mean in
Mm-hmm.
this case as a senior, that's possible. So I did that
Yeah.
because you're trying to build that foundation since the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, and you're trying to teach them how it works, how you guys work things out, how you
Yeah.
guys organize everything.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, though, although how I said earlier, although you're the president, you have to be open and you have to receive feedback, criticism, point of view from everyone. Although they're younger than you, you're all on the same level.
Yeah.
So the cultural change was mainly that I had a bigger executive board, people that were motivated to make a change and to see it happen. And
Mm-hmm.
the other thing is that was very hard to implement, and it still is. Since it's a club sport, some people might not take it as seriously, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But so people stopped showing up to practices because maybe we weren't having as many games or
Yeah.
it was too cold outside. And yeah, fair. But at the same time, listen, if you want to be committed, if you want to be part of it, you have to be 100% committed. You have to be 100% part of it.
Yeah.
So that culture change is just being a little tougher on the players, that are maybe might be slacking a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't be afraid to tell them if you're thinking about, I don't know, kicking them out or demoting them or whatever it is. Like you have to
Yeah.
be ready to give feedback. You have to be ready to talk with others. So the most important thing was just, setting the rules straight, having guidelines and
Mm-hmm.
expectations from our side and really, really enforcing them. It's really hard to enforce them, especially, because you're having fun, you're playing soccer, whatever, let's get playing.
Yeah.
But, if we wanted to play against other schools, we needed to train, we needed to do, physical training as well. So
Mm-hmm.
running, suicides, all
Yeah.
these things. And, those are annoying, but they're part of it and they're necessary
Yeah.
for success. And if somebody was not doing it, you have to tell them, you had to let them know, like immediately then or the same week, but don't let it go by because everyone's gonna forget about it. It's like whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
it affects the whole culture. So you have to make things clear from the beginning and you have to let them know that you're serious about the things that you're like about your consequences, if I can
Mm-hmm.
say.
Yeah.
Like if you're not doing something and I said that I was gonna, I don't know, correct you or demote you or kick you or ban you for a few days, whatever it is, I will do
Mm-hmm.
it. Like you have to be a man or woman of your word. You have to be a person of your word and you have to do the things that you promised doing. Otherwise, nobody will take you seriously.
Yeah. Wow. That's great. Yeah. I absolutely love that. So when you were interviewing with recruiters in New York, I mean, sorry, not in New York, like, in the DMV area
Yeah.
or in Delaware, I saw where you did
Yeah.
JP Morgan. What was the one thing about your Busch School education that made them stop and maybe say, man, we need this guy? Like, what was that if factor for you?
Yeah, I think that believe it or not, I was not very well, I mean, my first year in college, I wasn't a fan of the university, because
Mm-hmm.
my friends had gotten into like bigger names maybe. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, oh man, like I only got into this one or whatever, or because of my circumstances, like it's the only one I can go to because it's
Yeah.
reality. Um, so I was not a fan of it at the beginning, okay? And I'll be completely honest.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I will say, and I mean, we hear it all the time in our classes, is that The Busch School of Business teaches us to be the better person, to solve problems the best way possible
Hmm.
without focusing entirely on, let's say, getting, I don't know, higher income or
Yeah.
higher profit. It really teaches us that business is much more than just a number.
Hmm.
Business is a lot of helping the people, you
Yeah.
know? And when
Hmm.
you help the people, you get, I guess, something from it. In this case, or an award from it. It can be, a good salary. It can be a good result for the company.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I talked about in my interviews, and when I talked about, when I had coffee chats with people at JP Morgan, or even with the people that I've talked about from KPMG, is
Yeah.
that the school really teaches you to focus on the person, you know?
Hmm.
Obviously, organizations are big, and I mean, a lot of people say that those are the ones that move the economy, and it's true. But the engine of those companies, organizations are the people, because if you don't have people, you don't have results. So something that I say, and I'm sure you've heard it, and whoever's watching this, I'm sure you guys have heard it everywhere. The biggest asset of a company, it's its employees,
Hmm.
because they do the work, they show
Yeah.
up, they talk, they're willing to put themselves in front of a problem and solve it. They're willing to put themselves in front of customers and help them solve a concern they might have. So something that I always said is like, listen, like, yes, I'm having a really good business education. I'm getting the foundation for everything, accounting, finance, marketing, sales, HR, all these things.
Yep.
But the emphasis that we receive at school is that we focus on the person. We focus on doing things the right way, the ethical way,
Hmm.
and really focusing on those virtues, those virtues of, like, prudence, fortitude. All of those are so, so, so important. And believe it or not, although you are talking with a big company, in my case it was JP Morgan or
Hmm.
KPMG, although it's a smaller school, the most valuable thing is that you are willing to say that we are taught to be better persons. We are taught to
Yeah.
be better people. And we are taught to be selfless, you know,
Hmm.
because we need to help others. We have to help others. So having that really, really helped me stand out as well. And the other thing, not necessarily, I mean, it's related to the question, but maybe not to the whole virtues and thing. It's like the most important thing is just be yourself, okay? Like,
Yeah.
people see interviews as, life or death. It's not, by the way.
Yeah.
All recruiters are so chill. All partners are super chill. Even managers, they're so chill. Like, they're genuinely willing to listen to you and get to know you as a person. Okay. And I
Hmm.
say this because I was freaking out when I was trying to interview for JP Morgan or KPMG. I was
Yeah.
freaking out. But you always have to remember that they're also people. And that's something that the
Hmm.
Busch School of Business taught me. Everyone is human.
Yeah.
And it's literally like this, having a conversation, just you and I,
Yeah. Hmm.
Obviously, they're going to ask you, maybe uncomfortable questions that you have to think about for a second. But most of the time, what helped me the most, you just have to treat it as a conversation.
Yeah.
You could ask
That's what
them
it is.
about how they're doing. Obviously, do your research before. So, like, oh, I saw that, I don't know, you
Yeah.
do volunteering, or oh my God, I saw that you have, I don't know, a wife and kids,
Hmm.
because they really like to see that you're there not only for the name and for the money and for the position, but you're there willing to get to know everyone as a person. Because
Hmm.
yes, we do work and we work together, but we are people. Like, we have more
Hmm.
similarities as human than as employees. Okay.
Yes.
So just treat it as any conversation with your best friend, with your mom, with your grandpa, with your girlfriend,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Okay.
Yeah.
So always keep that in mind. Okay. It's really, obviously, it's nerve-wracking and it's inevitable. Okay. Like, I was freaking out, how I said,
Hmm.
but once you're in there and then you take a deep breath, it's like, man, like, what? Why did I stress out so much about it? They're just people, and they just want to talk and get to know me
Yeah.
better. Okay.
Yeah. Man, that's absolutely great advice. I'm definitely gonna take that into account.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I do definitely do believe, yeah, the Bush School is very very like very person to person
Mhm.
businesses. Like we're all people, and I just absolutely love that. It makes us unique, and definitely made you a unique candidate. So that's actually an amazing story. I love that.
Yeah,
I'll definitely
thank
use
you.
that, man. Thank you.
There you go. Good. Hopefully it
So,
works, okay? Don't hold me
oh
accountable if it doesn't
yeah,
work out, okay? Please.
no, don't worry, you're good. So, how do you think the International Business Club has changed the way CUA students look at the world? And
Hmm.
what is your vision for the club's growth next year?
Oh, you see, the International Business Club was a little bit more complicated because we were an event, like a outside of school event focused
Hmm.
um
Okay.
organization. Like we didn't do as many like in school events. I mean, obviously we had a few speakers, I had a few
Oh,
invitations
okay.
to some presentations, but it was mainly trying to get experiences outside of the classroom. Okay, so that's why we were able to go to the World Bank. That's why we were able to talk with the COO of the IDB,
Uh-huh.
Inter-American Development Bank,
Yeah.
which, if I'm not mistaken, I think you were there in that event.
Oh,
If I'm
wow.
not mistaken, I think I might be crazy.
um, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I was actually thinking about them. I didn't know you
Okay.
were gonna actually mention.
Yeah, of
Yes,
course.
I
Yeah, I
was.
remember
Yes,
you
I
were
was.
there. Of course,
I
I
wrote,
saw you there.
yeah,
So
it was just I think I just saw at the compass, but
yeah.
I thought I was in the wrong room. I swear to you, I was like,
No, no, no.
who are all these old people? Like, these are
Yeah,
seniors. What am I doing
a
here?
bunch of master students, but no, you were in the right place. Don't worry.
Yeah, oh
Um,
yeah, just keep on going with that. Yeah, that makes me remember
yeah.
that. I remember that.
But the International Business Club, what it taught me is that the world is much bigger than we think,
Mm,
and all the decisions we make affect the whole world. Okay.
yeah,
You might not believe it or see it at first, because a lot of people are focused on the like smaller picture, on the, just very short term
yeah,
future. But all the decisions you make affect not only the world, but also how your life is gonna, develop and evolve in a few years.
hmm,
Um, one of my dreams is to work for the World Bank.
yeah,
And I'm hoping that I can achieve it at some point. I mean, I say that now, but it can completely change in a few months.
yeah. Who
Um,
never knows? But yeah,
but something that I learned from there is that, again, going back to the cultures, is like we are the thing that makes us unique is that we're all human, and that all our different cultures are very similar. They
mm,
are expressed differently, maybe with different traditions, maybe with different practices, with different values.
yeah,
But the bigger picture is that, most most cultures are family oriented. Some other
hmm,
ones are task oriented.
yeah,
And in the World Bank, it's funny because you hear literally every single language. Like I swear, the many times that I've been there, I've heard like 80 different languages, and I couldn't recognize
oh wow,
90% of them.
yeah,
But what it taught me is that that humanity and society is very focused on the wrong things most of the time.
mm,
That everyone should focus more on taking care of the world and
mm,
evolving as a human race, as the human race. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure everyone has heard it before, and
mm,
I'm no philosopher, I'm no expert, no CEO yet.
yeah,
But the only race that we're running is it's the human race, and we're all the same, and we have to help each other grow. We have to help each other get to that next level,
mm,
and we have to be open to learning about other people and other cultures. Um, so yeah, everyone should focus more on solving world problems instead of focusing on just getting money, 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 which is
mm,
important. Don't get me wrong. It's very important
yeah,
because we all need money to live, to invest, to make a family, to
yeah,
whatever it is.
mm,
But um, we have to focus on the most important things, which is surviving as humanity, learning from each other as humanity, and really, embodying those values that make us all human.
yeah,
Okay. And listen, my vision for the future, it's very, very it's not very like clear to me because how I mentioned before with club soccer example is that all the new executive board, whoever's in charge, they're gonna change it, and it's
mhm,
inevitable as long as they maintain the core message, the core idea, the core value. Um, they're gonna change it. They're gonna do their own events. They're gonna do their different projects, whatever it is. Um, but my vision is I just want people to get those same experiences I did, listening to CEOs, COOs, going
Yeah.
to panels at other universities. There was one last year with GW at GW
Mhm.
University with some amazing professionals from the World Bank, the IMF,
Yeah.
all these things. Um, and all I want is for the international business members to get experience and to see it, real life happening outside of
Yeah.
the classroom. Because we learn a lot at school, we do, and they give us a
Hmm.
lot of information, but you truly learn and you truly see reality when you're out there. So
Hmm.
my only wish and my only vision is I want people to experience life. I want people to learn about new cultures. I want people to um, I mean, in my case, I always like to say that everyone should be willing to learn a different language, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and I just want people to learn from each other more than anything. Have the same experiences I did and hopefully even more. Um, and I just want the next executive board, whoever's in charge, to also tell that to them and ensure that they make it happen.
Yeah.
Because being in DC gives us a very unique advantage of being in such an amazing city surrounded with so many different organizations, whether they're financial institutions, whether they are political institutions, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I just want them to experience life, how I said, and they'll figure it out, they'll make it work out. And how I told the club soccer as well as the International Business Club is, hey, obviously I'm here if you ever need anything. If you need a
Hmm.
speaker, if you need whoever, like I'm willing to come here and talk about the same things that we're talking about here today.
Yeah.
Um, because that's the important things that people are not talking about enough. People are too distracted with bad things with I mean, I don't know if this is controversial, but with having fun. I like to have fun too, but
Yeah.
you gotta grow up, you gotta experience life, you gotta
Hmm.
work, you gotta meet people. Um, so just try to switch that focus of all that energy and time that you're spending having fun, partying, all these things into, you know, learning,
Hmm.
into trying new things out, into meeting new people, learning a new
Yeah.
language, because those are the things that are truly gonna stick with you. And I'm not saying you should ignore your family and your friends, not at all. I
Yeah.
I love my friends, I love my family, I see them every single week,
Hmm.
but we also talk about those more important things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I'm absolutely loving. I just absolutely love like your perspective on that whole thing, and that's absolutely amazing. That's
am
really good. So
I
you've
doing good
been.
so far for my
Oh,
first
oh,
time
sorry,
doing
sorry,
this?
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, oh, you're doing. I think you're knocking it out the park, man. Honestly, don't even like trip about like you may be thinking like you may be talking too much. No, man, it's great. Giving like just sharing your perspective. It really does show like how like the way you're thinking and who you are, and it's really just really showing that it's really amazing. So,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
so whether it's a final match or a final round interview, how do you manage the mental game of high stakes pressure?
Listen, it's tough, very, very tough,
Mm,
because you know that there's so many other, I mean, I guess related to interviews, there are many more candidates, and
yeah.
in soccer terms, there's other players that also want to win.
Mhm.
Um, but you see, and this is hopefully this doesn't sound repetitive, and I'm sure a lot of people, will bring this up, but you have to be yourself and you have to trust yourself. Okay. You know that everyone is different. Okay.
Mhm.
Everyone has different experiences. Everyone has had different situations. But if you are true to yourself and that you know that what you're saying it passionately,
Yeah.
the things that you're saying them with meaning behind them, you're gonna succeed.
Mhm.
Okay. How I said before with the interviews, it is a conversation with them, okay? And although they have
Yeah.
specific questions prepared for you, just how you, Luis, have
Yeah.
questions prepared for me, it's truly a conversation. And if you know what you're talking about, you're gonna succeed, okay?
Yeah. Just yeah.
Being confident, not, I mean, being human, okay?
Mhm.
Seeing the other people as human beings as well, And also seeing it as I mean, something that, it might be contradicting, but I see it as a game, you know? I like to
Mhm.
have fun playing games.
Yeah.
When it comes to soccer or video games, I like to have fun. So I just see it as a process and as a learning experience, okay?
Yeah.
And how we talked about before, when we were talking about rejection, is that although you might not succeed, or although you might not meet the expectations that you had about yourself, you learned throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
You did it. And not only did you do it, but you did it well. Okay?
Mhm.
And that's the one thing that has helped me the most. Listen, if I don't get the position, if I don't win the game, I know that when I'm out there, I'm doing my best and I'm putting my 100% into it. Okay?
Mhm.
Because how I said before, I'm very passionate about my interests, about my cultures, about my family, about my
Yes.
girlfriend, about my work. So
Mhm.
you have to be true to yourself, and you have to give yourself that same patience that I was talking to about, and that little breathing space. It's like, hey, if it doesn't work out, it's not the end of the world. You learned,
Yeah.
you did it, and you did it well, and something greater is going to come from it. Um, but the more objective answer, if I'm able to say it, is like, listen,
Yeah.
prepare, for interviews specifically, although I'm treating it and I'm saying it's a conversation, and it truly is.
Yeah.
You have to do your research, obviously. You have to have examples written down. You have
Mhm.
to be able to express those things. And the same with soccer, for example. You have to train, you have to practice, you have to go to the gym, you have to work
Yeah.
out because you want to be in a good physical condition. So you gotta do it. You gotta
Mhm.
do it, and you gotta take the extra hour, 2 hours, minutes preparing. Do it, okay? There's no
Mhm.
such thing as over preparation, okay? But at the same time, don't treat it as the end of the world,
Yeah.
okay? If you're not able to do 2 hours of practicing beforehand and you were only able to do one, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
It is what it
So be
is.
it.
I'm gonna do my best and I'm gonna make it work out, okay?
Yeah.
So yeah, just take the time to research, take the time to talk with people, take the time to really think about who you are as a person. Something that helped me the most is specifically interviews, is really thinking about who I am, my values, my experiences, and everything that I've lived through, and being able to talk about those things. And if you
Yeah.
really have that internal analysis about yourself, it's going to be so much easier for you to answer the questions that they might bring you. And then it's going to sound more natural. You're not going to sound like AI. You're not going to sound
Yeah.
like ChatGPT just reading a script. Which, by the
Yeah.
way, don't do that, guys. I mean, yes, sure, it's a powerful tool, AI and everything. And we don't need to get into the topic, but
No, yeah, for sure.
you don't cut corners, okay? Like,
Mhm.
yes, they're very valuable tools for certain things, but it is very obvious when
Mhm.
anyone is using AI. And I use AI. I don't care about saying it.
Mhm.
But I don't depend on it. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's the one thing that a lot of people, I'm sure, have talked about.
Yeah, it's an amazing
Um,
tool.
yeah,
Amazing
yeah,
tool.
super
Yeah.
powerful, very helps you, get things done efficiently. But you're not really gonna learn if you don't do your own part as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, just do your best, be human, be prepared, and know yourself. Okay, which is a very hard thing to do, knowing yourself.
Yeah.
But that's why I suggest all of you guys, and I mentioned before, take yourself out on coffee dates. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a big coffee drinker, and I'm Colombian, so I love coffee, obviously. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's amazing, man. You're great, man.
Cool.
So now that you officially graduated from the Catholic University of America, what is the one timeless truth you want people to associate with the name Daniel Trujillo at Catholic University?
That's a tough question. I might have to take myself out on a coffee date for that one. No, I'm kidding. But I will say, um, listen, more than leaving a legacy behind, I just want people to know that I tried my best.
Mhm.
I got involved with as many things as I could, my
Yeah.
interests. Um, And I just want, students and faculty to know that I did it well, and that yeah, that it's just, it's hard to answer because everyone's unique. So I couldn't
Yeah.
give you a very specific answer, but I will say that um I think that I just want people to remember that, I did it. I did it
Hmm.
well. I was involved.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be a role model for anyone, but I want to be someone who you can count on. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah.
I've told my club soccer guys, I've told the international business people, I've told my friends, my family that they can always count on me. Okay, it doesn't matter for what it is. The same way you're counting on me for
Yeah.
this
Of
interview, which I really appreciate, by the way, for taking the time and
yeah. Of
effort to do this and put
course.
this
Yeah.
together. But it's like, I'm a friend and I'm willing to help you.
Hmm.
As long as, I don't mean to sound selfish now, but as long as you're also um, giving something to me in return. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
not
No.
saying money, I'm not
Yeah.
saying fame, I'm not saying views. I'm saying, listen, you're my friend, I'll help you, but if I need help, I want you to help me. You
Yeah.
know? That's the one thing. The other truth that I will say about college, not related to me specifically, I
Hmm.
would say just hopefully this is not, but it is easier than you think. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not worth not doing your best,
Uh-huh.
and it is not worth cutting corners, how I said. Truth
Hmm.
is, and I don't mean to sound, crazy now, but it is much easier than you think. Okay? If you put the time in, if you put the energy in, if you do your part, you're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna learn, you're gonna grow. Okay, those three things.
Hmm.
Um, and you're just gonna be a better person. You're gonna become a better person. And in my case, my parents, they did a big investment and big sacrifice to,
Yeah.
give me, bring me into the US from Colombia, take me to a private school and then a private university. So I mean, my mentality is I gotta make up for it, and
Yeah.
as of
For
right now,
sure.
I cannot make up for it with money necessarily, but the way that I can make up for it is by studying, by getting my grades, up,
Hmm.
by being involved, and just, all these little things, although they might seem little, the honor societies, and whatever, they say something, they say
Yeah.
something about who you are as a person, as a student. The truth is, it's easier than you think. Just do it, put the
Yeah.
time in, and
Yeah.
you might also all graduate with a 4.0 GPA. I did not have a 4.0 GPA, by the way. I'm just saying. Everyone can have
I,
a 4.0 GPA, be involved, and get a good position after school if
yeah.
it's a concern.
Wow. Absolutely amazing, man. Well, finally, that is all I have for you today. This is absolutely amazing. Actually, I think my favorite so far,
Good.
honestly. Don't tell anyone that. But honestly, yeah, this has been amazing. Just getting to know you, just hearing about just honestly just your life and just how your journey was through our college. It's been absolutely amazing, man. So thank you again for your time. I know it's very valuable, and I definitely do respect your time, and I definitely respect you for respecting mine and taking this call, and for sharing your insights and advice for the next generation here at Catholic University, which I hope to be a leader in.
There you
So
go. Well,
yeah.
Luis, before you finish as well, I just wanted to thank you.
Mhm.
This is no huge interview, but I'm preparing.
Yeah.
I'm preparing for what's coming, and
Helps
then
me
you
too. I
too.
mean, yeah, helps me too. Just
Um,
honestly learning, just learning.
yeah,
I've been learning a lot.
good,
So yeah.
good. And I just wanted to, yeah, thank you. It seems
Mhm.
like you're doing a fantastic job, and I can tell you that now. And a lot of people will
Thank
tell
you.
you you're doing the right thing.
Mhm.
Keep it up. Okay, this energy, this interest, this motivation. Because it's very hard to find nowadays. How I was
Yeah.
talking about distractions before, it's very hard to get distracted easily. It's very easy to get
Oh
distracted,
yeah, yeah.
you know?
Mhm.
Um, so keep doing what you're doing. I really appreciate the time and effort that you're putting into this. And hey, I mean, I'd love to see the final result and the other interviews you've had. So
Yeah. So
great.
yeah, man.
Thank you so much, Luis.
Congrats on all your success. Congrats on
Thank
graduating, and
you.
best of luck at KPMG, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it,
Good
Luis.
luck.
I hope to talk soon again. And hey, if anyone wants to reach out or anything,
Mhm.
I mean, hopefully I'm a I don't know, nice guy to talk with, I hope. I'm
Yeah.
taken, by the way, though. I love my girlfriend, so don't try doing anything weird with that. But just
Professional
putting it out there.
relationships only.
Yeah,
Professional.
exactly, exactly. Cool.
All right, man. So finally, to everyone watching, that was Daniel Trujillo. And now, listening to all of his insights and advice, it is your turn to take them and apply them to your path in college. And we'll see you next time on the next episode of the Career Blueprint. Thank you very much for watching.
Hey, you guys, have a good one.